Okay, I admit it, Bernice. This archaeology business has got me beaten.
What is it this time, Tamika?
I'm telling you, it's time to throw in the trowel.
You're not the first to make that joke.
I'm serious. Enough is like enough. This is just not fun. I'm up to my tits in stinking mud, I'm cold, I'm wet, and I'm just plain bored.
Be patient. Ernst didn't find Sakrat in a day.
I read that book. Ernst never found Sakrat at all. And anyway, at least he was in with a chance of finding something interesting. Admit it, Bernice. There's nothing here on Apollux but bits of broken parasite pottery.
Well...
This place is a joke. I'm telling you, I've had it. We've as much chance of finding anything remotely new or interesting about the Chelonians as Emil does of getting married.
Hey!
Okay, I accept we're unlikely to uncover anything entirely new, but think about it. 50,000 years ago, these buildings were packed with people from a dozen or so races, huddled together, cold and afraid, at the mercy of the Chelonian guards. No, we won't find any treasure or anything completely new, but we might find clues to how the people struggle to survive. That's got to be worth something.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Tamika, don't sit! Oh, Tamika, for Christ's sake, can't you watch where you're bloody sitting?
That's absolutely it. I'm booking myself on the next flight out of here. I'm telling you, anything is better than this. What am I sitting in?
You appear to have uncovered part of the foundation of the dwelling. I don't believe it! That's amazing!
What is?
This, Emil, has got to be the biggest coprolite find in this part of the galaxy.
So I'm up to my tits in coprolites. Are they valuable?
Well, no, not in themselves. Not financially anyway, but from an archaeological point of view, they're invaluable. They can help give us a real insight about the lives of people who lived here.
Oh, right. They're not worth anything, then.
Tamika, if you want to find buried treasure, buy a metal detector. This is archaeology, not beachcombing. Look, after we treat them, the coprolites regain their original form, texture and smell. I mean, it's a mucky business, but it provides the most direct evidence of what was actually eaten.
You don't mean...
I'm afraid so. Coprolite is fossilized species. You've discovered a piece of the sewage system that hadn't disintegrated.
You're up to your neck in ancient poo.
That's it. I'm going home.
Bugger.
Hey, what's up now?
See that man?
Uh-huh. Trouble?
Big trouble.
Should I get someone? The police?
Is he dangerous?
Hello, Benny.
Is he dangerous? You could say that, Tamika. This is Jason Kane. As in Summerfield Kane. As in my husband. That is, my ex-husband.
Oh, hello. Nice to meet you.
Well, I wouldn't jump to any conclusions on that score, Tamika. Welcome to Apollux, Jason, a grubby little planet that seems to have just got grubbier. So what can I do for you? Oh, money, I suppose. Or have you travelled God knows how many parsecs just to humiliate me again?
A chat. In private. Please, Benny, it's important.
You'll have to be quick. I've got a pipe full of fossilised excrement to excavate, and appealing as you are, if it's a choice between spending time with you or digging up an ancient toilet, I'm afraid the toilet wins every time. Tamika, cover our discovery with a tarpaulin and then call it a day, all right? Go and get some food, and I'll see you in the morning. Usual time.
Okay, bye.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Kane.
Emil, could you, put your tongue back in your mouth and help me clear up?
What? I wasn't. I mean, yeah, sure.
You're looking really well, Benny. Ouch! What was that for?
If you try and pretend that this is a social visit, husband, it will be very grim, trust me on this. Just ask me what you want, allow me to refuse triumphantly, and then we can get on with the rest of the evening, all right?
Oh, never mind.
Whose is the Gumblejack fritter?
Oh, yeah, that's mine, thanks.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Enjoy your meal.
Thanks. Well,
Well, what?
I presume that you didn't come all this way just to see how I am. What's the trouble that you've got yourself into this time?
I thought you said...
No, never mind what I said, just tell me.
I need you to look after something for me. Something precious.
What kind of something?
It's right up your street, actually. Take a look.
Stone. Maybe crystal. Crudely sculptured.
Have you seen anything like this before?
Yes and no. I've never seen this particular type of crystal before. Although it doesn't look exceptional, it's clearly supposed to be a representation of a woman. Inscription along the bottom. I suppose the figurine could be old. But equally, it might be something knocked up for the gullible tourists last week. Who knows?
Oh, I see.
You sound as if you were expecting a different answer.
I'd been led to believe that it was important, that's all. Apparently it's part of an ancient weapon.
Oh, yes.
This figurine is a key to enormous power. To a weapon with powers beyond that of a sun.
Oh, dear. Ching! I think Phineas T. Barnum has just rung up another sale.
No, I didn't buy it. I was trying to stop it from falling into the wrong hands.
The wrong hands? Oh, do you mean the rightful owners?
Thanks, Benny. You're right, I did come here for your help, and yeah, it's trouble, and yeah, I'm in over my head, but I thought that maybe... No, never mind. I'm sorry, I made a mistake coming here. I'm just upset.
Who's upset?
You are. You're all tensed up and you can't stop insulting
That's
me.
not upset. That's just... Any reasonable person would respond to you like that.
See? You're doing it again.
All right, I admit it. I'm upset. It's just you disappear. I don't hear from you in months, and then you just show up. It's only because I'm the only person in the universe who might possibly harbour enough goodwill to do you a favour. Frankly, it makes me feel a little used.
Ouch.
Well, it's the truth.
Tamika, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
We've still got a week left. We've got to do at least 3 weeks practical to complete the course components for year 1. It's in the handbook.
Neil, if I stay another week in this mud pit, I will go crazy. The rain's already trashed half my wardrobe. My hair's ruined. If you want to stay, stay. I'll even leave you the last of my tequila.
I'm not supposed to drink.
Jeez, are you in rehab already? You're so young.
I'm not young. And anyway, it's against the rules.
I went to St. Oscar's to look for you. The dean said you were here. Seemed to think that it was amusing.
Oh, did he indeed? Somehow that doesn't surprise me. There was a mix-up in the admissions. 2 scholarship students, Tomiko Vito and Emile Mars Smith, missed the first field trip of term. So someone had to take them on a special trip. I drew the short straw. Personally, I think the dean fixed it, trying to get me out of the way while he cuts the budget again. I'm really the only person in the department who puts up any sort of fight. So I ended up here, digging up the 4,072nd Chelonian slave dwelling and finding exactly the same pitiful items that were found in the 4,071st. God, Tamika's right. It's really a waste of time.
I thought you liked getting your hands dirty. Or have you become an armchair theorist in your old age?
Me? Never.
My hotel is this way.
Really? You going to walk me to my tent, or am I going to be murdered on my own?
I never realised that archaeology students were so dangerous. I'd be happy to walk you to your tent.
Just a walk home, all right?
Of course. Just a walk. God.
What? No sex when we get there?
Well, if, you insist.
Let's go to your hotel. I've got a reputation to maintain around here. I've forgotten how much I love winding you up.
Hi, Benny. Listen, can I have a word? This is important. It's nothing personal, right? But I've decided to leave. I mean, I'm just not cut out for this place, and this mud is destroying my wardrobe. It's okay. I mean, I can just transfer my ticket and make my own way home and... Bernice?
Hello, Tamika. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever. How long do you think it would take for you to tidy up and pack?
Sorry?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to bring this trip to a premature end. I know that it must be disappointing for you both, your first dig and everything, but it's just, well, the truth is, I rather suspect that my husband has been kidnapped.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kidnapped? Are you sure?
Yeah. Don't look so worried. It's not as if it hasn't happened before. I think it must have something to do with this.
Hey, you guys, we've got trouble.
That, my dear Emile, is the understatement of the decade. Not only has my ex-husband been kidnapped, but I rather suspect that whoever was after him was after this. Which, seeing as I am now the holder of the artifact, puts me in rather a delicate position. We need to get out of here.
Benny, I think Emile was referring to them. Looks like we got company.
Professor Bernie Summerfield Kane?
You can drop the cane bit, I did. Not now, I'm a little busy.
No, you're not. And you're not going anywhere. As of now, you're under arrest.
I had woken that morning to find myself being slowly throttled by my ex-husband. Not deliberately, of course. He was still fast asleep. One of Jason's many infuriating habits was hanging on to me through the night. I've always thought of it as an act of desperation.
Professor Summerfield, could you please keep to the point?
Sorry, I've gone over what happened next 1,000 times in my mind. Jason, get that, can you? I said...
You didn't suspect anything untoward at this point?
I thought he was arguing with room service. He makes a habit of that.
And that's when your husband disappeared.
Yes, look, why are we just sitting here? Jason's been kidnapped.
I want to be honest with you, Professor Summerfield. I've listened to your account of your husband's disappearance, and, frankly, I don't believe that your ex-husband has been kidnapped. I'm afraid that your story just doesn't quite ring true.
It doesn't? Oh, and why exactly is that?
I don't believe you when you say that last night was the first time you'd seen Jason Kane in almost, 8 months?
Well, it's true.
To start with, there's no record of a petition for divorce being made by either of you. No record of a decree absolute in any system. You're obviously still on intimate terms. You did, after all, spend the night together last night. Your husband is suspected of smuggling ancient artifacts, and you just happen to be an archaeologist, an expert in such matters. And then he disappears, just as the police are closing in on him, and you claim that he's been kidnapped. Quite a coincidence, don't you think?
Look, Jason's not a thief. You've got the wrong man.
The unshaven gentleman in the photograph is Mr. Kane, I take it.
Yes.
We believe the young woman to be his accomplice. Now, why don't you tell me exactly what your role in all this has been?
Look, I've really told you all that I know. He arrived yesterday suggesting that he was in trouble, asking me to look at a small artifact, the figurine that you took from me. This morning, he disappeared. I'm as much in the dark as you are.
Professor Summerfield, this is a very serious matter. We have information that links him to...
Could I have a word, please, sir? The lab report's just come back.
Excuse me a moment, Professor Summerfield.
Oh, don't mind me.
It seems you're free to leave.
I'm sorry?
Well, we had assumed that the figurine contained some kind of encrypted data related to the sale of arms. Seems it doesn't. We have no reason to keep you. You're free to leave. If your husband makes any attempt to contact you, I'd very much appreciate that you contact me.
Have you been listening to a word I've been saying? Jason has been kidnapped. For all I know, he could have been murdered. I very much doubt that he is going to be in a position to give me a ring or drop in for a chat. If you're so interested in speaking to him, why don't you try and find him?
I was operating on information I received concerning this artifact. I haven't been able to find any evidence that directly links your husband to arms dealings. I have no reason to authorize the expenditure for a search.
No reason! I've just told you that he's been bloody kidnapped!
Then inform the local police. It's hardly a trans-system matter.
I see. So it's a trans-system matter if he's dealing with weapons, but not if his life's in danger, is that it?
If you like, Professor Summerfield. You're an intelligent woman. Why don't you find him yourself? You're far more likely to be successful than we are.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I was merely suggesting that you probably have a good idea as to where to begin such a search. Thank you for your time, Professor.
Look, just tell me one thing. What did you suspect to find encoded in the figurine?
You really don't know, do you?
Well, I'd hardly bother asking if I did, would I?
Very well. A lot of hardware went unaccounted for during the Galactic War, military hardware. There's a lot of money to be made in its recovery. For the last year, we've been hearing rumours about a powerful weapon being assembled. Several of these rumours have mentioned your ex-husband and his accomplice. Apparently, they spent much of the last year travelling across the galaxy searching for it. We know that the woman is from Ursu, a prohibited world in the next sector. We received a tip-off that the activation codes for the weapon were being carried by your husband and his accomplice in that artifact. We tried every kind of test we've got, but we found nothing. Legally, I'm obliged to return it to you.
Just how powerful is this weapon supposed to be?
The information we received was that the weapon generates more power than a modest-sized star.
Oh, God. Power beyond the sun.
What did you say?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
This is Space Traffic Control, Freighter 2150, cleared for takeoff.
This is Moon 4 base, you're clear to land at Galileo Canyon.
Diary entry. Prohibited worlds were usually off limits because they were prison colonies, reported sites of new diseases, or local war zones. According to the available information, no one had travelled to Ursu since before the Galactic War. It was one of several hundred planets with which contact of any kind had been lost during the conflict. In the years since the war had ended, governments and companies were working hard to re-establish communications with these lost worlds. It was a slow process. Many of them had fallen back into barbarism. The injunction around Ursu had been in existence before the war, although the reason for being struck off the trade routes was now lost. It could have been anything. Prison, disease, local conflict. You can imagine just how much I was looking forward to this trip.
This is Pilot Jones. We'll be making a jump to Ursu in 15.
Everyone survived takeoff?
Nothing a Kleenex couldn't cure.
Nosebleed. I've got blood all down my shirt. Will it stain?
Oh, you'll survive. You better get ready to jump. We're going to be in hyperspace for about 30 hours. We'll emerge in the V14 system, not too far from Ursu.
What happened to Della? I thought we were going straight back.
The pilot's going to let us do a sweep of Ursu on the way. Get an idea of the place.
You really think Jason's been taken to a prohibited world?
It would make sense. I've done a search of the artifact Jason entrusted to me. Fragments of pre-war document connected to Ursu. If Jason stole it, perhaps the Ursu people or their descendants want it back. Don't worry, we won't have to land. We'll stay in orbit long enough to do a single instrument sweep, and then we'll jump all the way back to Della.
But you're really planning to return to Ursu later? To actually go down there?
You must think I'm crazy. I think I'm incurably insane, but yes, once I've got you two safely home, fed Woolsey, and then studied the results of the orbital scan, I'll come back.
You, would not catch me touching down on a prohibited world.
Thanks, Tamika. Why not try and undermine my confidence while you're at it? It's probably not that bad.
Yeah, right.
Okay, it probably is that bad, but I really don't have a choice. Jason's in trouble, and I'm fairly sure that he's in trouble on Ursu.
You must like him a lot.
No, not really, not like that, anyway. He's ancient history. I think I've finally moved on. And anyway, if this photo the police gave me is any indication, it's clear that he's moved on.
Let's see. Who is this lady hugging him? Oh, she's really pretty.
Emil!
I don't care about that, really. He's got himself into trouble. Arms dealing, which doesn't surprise me in the least.
Arms dealing? You sure know how to pick 'em, Bernice. Is that his girlfriend, then?
His accomplice, apparently. Nasty frock. What?
And you're completely over him, right?
This is Pilot Jones. Professor Summerfield to the bridge. Orbital sweep of Ursu in 10.
That's me. Back in a minute!
Oh my God!
Stay here. I'll find out what's happening.
Tamika, Bernice told us to wait.
She's a teacher. Since when did anyone do what they say? Are you coming or what?
Hang on. Tamika, the bridge is off limits to passengers.
I bet you don't walk on the grass either.
Oh my God, he's on fire!
Neil, get the extinguisher now.
Where is it?
Behind you! Stay with him. I'll find Bernice.
Tamika, I think he's... Oh my God.
What are you doing here? Get out!
Thought you might need some help. What's going on? Who's attacking us?
No idea. The navigation bank just blew. Pilot over there is injured. The poor co-pilot took the full force of the blast.
I know. We just met him.
Oh, the ship's a sitting duck.
Can't you take evasive action?
Evasive what? What do you think this is, a battleship? It takes 15 minutes to make a 45-degree turn.
Oh my God, the screen's full of them. Do we have weapons?
No.
Force field, shields, anything defensive?
Nope.
What about ordinary equipment we can use as a weapon or disguise or something?
Oh, you mean like confusing their targeting systems by ejecting the cargo? Fill the space between us with millions of tons of rice grains, that sort of thing.
Oh my God, Benny, yes, exactly that. Can you do it?
Nope. You can't access the cargo holds from here. This is a haulage vessel, Tamika. It can take off, land, and that's about it. The best I can do is uncouple the bridge section from the cargo bins. It wasn't built for anything like this.
Somebody really doesn't like you, Bernice, you know that?
I'm afraid being shot at has become a bit of an occupational hazard.
For an archaeologist?
Academics can be the harshest critics.
This has something to do with Jason, doesn't it?
I wouldn't be at all. Jesus, where are the life pods? James, can you hear me?
Who's Jones?
Me.
He's the pilot.
Great. Pilot's concussed and the co-pilot's char grilled. When can I go home?
Tamika, find a meal. Jones, we need to know where the life pods are located.
Professor Stubblefield? Can't see. Professor?
I'm here. Jesus.
I know where the escape pods are.
Right then, come on.
Can't move my leg.
What about him?
Come on, Emil.
Professor? Professor? Can't see.
Lifebot primed and ready for launch. Please initiate launch sequence.
Get in, both of you, now.
I won't be long.
Tamika, where the hell does she think she's going? Oh, you won't need your hold on, Emil.
No, I can't leave it. It's all I've got.
Emil, listen, this is no time to argue. You can't take that with you. We need to make the pod as light as possible. It's already way over capacity with the two of you. Emil, are you listening?
Sorry about that overnight bag. Well, I'm not going anywhere without at least a change of clothes and an eyeliner.
You stupid little... Stay near the pod when it lands. Jones and I will follow you down. Bombs away!
Launch sequence completed.
Just a few more moments, Jones.
Please evacuate the ship.
We have to leave. We have to leave now.
How?
What do you mean, how? The second life pod, of course. The kids have gone in the first.
The locking mechanisms have gone offline. The other pods are jammed. I feel sick.
I wish you'd told me that 5 minutes ago.
All integrity at 10%. Please evacuate the ship.
How's the hull going? We can uncouple the bridge section, use it as a pod, or we'll burn when the fuel ignites.
I've got bad news. Most of the instruments have melted.
Auxiliaries over there. I'll talk you all the way through it.
Oh, I think I've seen this movie.
Hey, what's the rush, Leon?
No rush, Scott. It's nothing.
I thought you just wanted to go for a walk.
I do.
Well, slow down then. Unless we're going somewhere in the...
Shh. I think I hear.
Sunless.
Scott, down here. Shh. Take shallow breaths.
Darin Saro Rumata, Manoka, Balston.
That was close.
The Sunless don't usually come out this far.
I wonder what they're after.
Do you know something? They don't usually bother us in the countryside. Wow, what was that?
What a way to travel. Even my bruises have got bruises. Fortunately, I had Fat Boy here to cushion my fall.
I'm not fat.
Self-delusion will get you nowhere.
Where did you come from? You just dropped out of the sky.
Oh, God, primitives. I hate primitives. Please let there be some technology here. Tell me you know what curling tongues are.
Are you suffering concussion?
Concussion? That's at least level 2 medical science, thank the goddess.
Goddess, and you call me primitive?
Honey, I'm not the one in the stripy jumpsuit.
We can talk later. Right now, we need to get back to the village. The Sunless must have heard the noise.
Easy. We've made it. Look, come on, Jones. We've got to get away.
Don't! My leg, it's broken. Jesus. I can't believe it.
Look, I'll get help. I won't be long. There's bound to be a town nearby, or at least a road.
Be careful. This is a prohibited world.
Oh, but it slipped my mind.
Who's there? Jesus Christ!
Jones? Oh, God.
It's only sauce. Try it. Those vegetables can be a bit dry on their own.
Cheers, Leon. God, this tastes filthy.
It's not too bad.
You people are so strange. Are you corporate people? Profiteers?
My father works for Krytel. It's one of the biggest companies in the sector. In our sector, that is. My dad's a communications engineer. I lived with him on an X-boat relay station. That's a sort of artificial satellite, only smaller.
So he works for this Krytel company and is paid for his labour in return. Is that right?
He gets a salary, if that's what you mean. Doesn't everyone?
And works late and ignores his son and thinks more about machines than he does about his wife. Just like all the other company robots. Selling their soul for a few stupid shillings.
Do I detect a voice of dissent?
Detect what you like. You wouldn't catch me working for Krytel. They're as corrupt as the church.
All companies are corrupt, by definition.
God, you should study at St. Oscar's. They've got a politics sock for people like you.
On Ursu, politics isn't a game.
Are you all right, Emil?
Yeah. I was just thinking about Bernice Summerfield, my lecturer.
Are you certain she's dead?
Scott Shush. I haven't said anything yet. To Tamiko, I mean. I don't know what to say. The other life pod didn't launch.
What are you, psychic? We left before them, so how could you know what happened?
Our capsule was still linked to the ship. Or at least it was while the ship was in one piece. The second capsule never launched. It couldn't. There was a malfunction in the locking device. It was still attached to the ship when the communication systems were destroyed, which is probably when the rest of the ship disintegrated.
What do we do now?
I don't know.
What should we do with them?
Why do anything?
They're so strange, like little kids. The treaty says...
It doesn't matter what the treaty says, not since the Sunless came.
Can you imagine what they would do to the village if they found people out of uniform? Let alone people from another world?
Perhaps we should... Who's that?
Good evening. If this is your planet, then I'm really very sorry for crashing on it. I didn't have much choice. Some rather mean black spaceships took a dislike to me in orbit. There's no need to be afraid. Friend.
Hello?
Ah, we can converse, that's a relief. It's been one of those days. Death, disaster, leaving home without deodorant. You wouldn't mind helping me with my friend here, would you? We crashed together.
What friend?
Oh, no, that's not right, is it?
Are you all right?
No, I'm not. Sorry, my name is...
Bernice Summerfield.
Oh, that's very clever. Can you, tell me what my star sign is, too?
Get her to the fire. Emil, go and find a blanket. She's in shock.
Bernice! Oh my God, I thought you were dead!
Give her some room. She needs to rest.
Oh, I'm fine, really. I think I just drank a bit too much last night.
What are you talking about?
Where exactly am I? This isn't St. Oscar's.
We're in trouble. There are Sunless coming. Michael saw them nearing the village a few moments ago.
Oh my God, those soldiers. The ones that killed Jones. I hope we didn't lead them to your town.
Well, if you didn't, who else did? Why else are they here?
Margaret, can't you see that she's hurt?
Leave her alone. She's been through enough.
Can't she answer me?
I don't know why they've come to your town, but yes, I should think it's possible that they're looking for us. I think it must have been them who shot our ship down from orbit.
I didn't think you were an Ursulan. What were you doing in our orbit anyway? This is a closed world, but it seems that everyone in the galaxy seems happy to walk all over our world.
Well, if I'd known that my arrival was going to upset you so much, I would have tried to crash somewhere else.
You can make jokes about it, but your arrival may well cause more of my people to die. The Sunless have burnt villages to the ground just because people wouldn't wear their stinking uniforms. All of my brothers and sisters among them. I'm the only one left of my 8.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
I don't want a stranger's sorrow. What use is that to me? I want the people I care about to stay alive. I want to stay alive. You being here puts us all in danger.
I appreciate that we've broken your laws, and I'll answer to whoever's in charge if I have to, but... What? What have I said?
You won't convince anyone of your intentions if you speak like a subject.
A subject? I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
That is very clear. You're just digging yourself into deeper shit here.
The Sunless are outside. Come on, let's get these people into the barn. They should be safe there until the morning.
Give me a working definition of safe.
Emile, wake up. We have to leave now.
Oh. Trouble?
Yeah, we're leaving.
I guessed.
Sunless. Leon says that about 30 of them came back into the village this morning. There are more of them in the fields. They've taken equipment to the reservoir where your pod came down. From what it sounds like, I think it must be underwater gear. Seems our arrival has not gone unnoticed. Emile, keep an eye on the front, would you? We'll be leaving out the back way and then going cross-country. But I don't want to be surprised by the Sunless.
So what do I do if I see one?
I don't know, whistle.
Do you really think they're looking for that little figurine?
Oh, who knows? Scott recognises the crystal. It's the same as some that are used in what he calls the blooms, some kind of genetic engineering equipment used on this world. He's going to take us to meet an expert on the crystal.
A geologist?
No, a midwife, apparently.
Right. Tell me this again after I've had some coffee.
Bad news. It's a caffeine-free world.
Barbarians. Hey, Bernice.
What?
It's good to see you again.
It's good to... Emile, I thought I asked you to... Company?
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's move out. Scott says Leon has an apartment in the main city where we can stay for a few days. Let's get them and go.
If you think the companies are wrong, if you think that they shouldn't be operating in the way that they are, why don't you do something about it?
Don't be an asshole all your life, Leon. Have you got scales for brains or what? You can't fight the corporations. They've got it all sewn up. There's nothing you can do to change it. That's just like how it is. Shit happens, you know?
Shit never just happens. People cause shit to happen. It wasn't like that here. Not before the Sunless invaded, anyway. If you didn't like a situation, you changed it.
That's the first duty of every Ursulan. First and last.
Although it's harder since the
Emile?
Sunless came.
Oh. He's really beautiful.
What?
Scott. It's rare to see someone dual race. Saurian human like him. His scales are really beautiful. Like something out of a fairy tale. An elf or a sprite or something.
I was miles away. Just thinking about my dad, that's all.
Missing home?
No, not really. Just wish I'd left on better terms.
Ah, I see. Parents not pleased to see you go.
Something like that.
So, you up for the $60 million question?
What? What do you mean? What question?
Take it easy. I was only going to ask you why you chose archaeology as a degree. Why? What did you think I was going to ask?
Nothing. It doesn't matter. Do you really want to know, Professor S?
Well, if I didn't want to know the answer...
I mean, it probably doesn't matter now anyway. You can't exactly give me detention, can you? Tamika was right. About my dad, I mean. He never had very much time for me or my mum when she was alive. And after... well, he just locked himself away. I just wanted to get away from home, and I was pretty sure that going to college was the only way I was going to do so. Well, I didn't really know what course to do, so I just... well...
Signed yourself up for the first course listed alphabetically on the brochure. I don't believe that somebody actually did that.
I'm sorry.
I will get you home, Emile. Once I've found Jason, I'll get us all home. I promise.
I know you will, Professor S.
The hospital is in the hands of the collaborators. There are guards checking the identification papers of patients. Bernice, I'm sorry, I don't think we'll be able to get to Dr. Kitzinger. I didn't realise that things were this bad. Leon says several doctors have been executed for organising resistance against the Sunless.
I'm sorry.
I've always lived in the country where they've really left us alone. The city is so changed, so tense, fear everywhere. I didn't realise what's been going on. I should have taken an interest.
I need to get to Kitzinger. The figurine is my only lead to Jason.
Bernice, you're not listening. The hospital is virtually sealed up. They're not letting anyone in at the moment. If Kitzinger is still there, if she's still alive, we can't get to her. It would put her in danger to try. Let's get back to Leon's place. The others will be waiting.
There's always a way.
Haven't you heard what I'm saying? It would put Kitzinger in danger. She could be accused of resisting.
You really care about her, don't you?
I care about all Ursulans.
But she's different. Special.
All Ursulans are born from the blooms. Kitzinger was... well, she was...
Oh, my God, she's your mother.
There aren't any mothers here. She was midwife to my 8. Now do you see why I want to protect her?
Yeah, I do. But the blooms are the only connection I have to this artifact. I'm going to see her.
Oh, Scott, you're back at last. Where's...
I don't understand you profiteers at all. I mean, what's the point in trying to stay free of the Sunless if all you're going to do is subjugate others?
Huh? Have you had a row with Bernice or something?
I don't understand her. I thought I did, but I can't believe what she's proposing to do. I've been so stupid. Just because you look like some of us and share our language, I thought that you were like us, but I was really wrong. You're more like the Sunless than an Ursulan.
I'm not like the Sunless.
No, I know you're not, Emil. I know you're not like them. I'm just angry, that's all. When I first met Bernice, it was so clear to me that I wanted to assist you. I wanted to be the good Ursulan, helping the profiteers who had fallen out of the sky. I think I wanted to prove to you that even with the threat of the Sunless hanging over us, Ursu is special. That what we have here is better than what you have with your wealth and technology. But if you're not like the Sunless, what are you like, Emil? You're so quiet. Sometimes it's as though you're not even here. What do you believe in? What matters to you?
Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure I can just say what I believe in just like that. I mean, what do you believe in?
Here. Look at this necklace. The words on it are my code. I keep it with me always.
Any rule is tyranny. My one duty is to accept no rule. That's it. That's what you believe in. No rules.
Everyone has their own code. Almost everyone, that is. Some people choose not to. The idea is that it's based on your learning from being in your 8. But our codes change as our lives change.
8?
My family. 8 brothers and sisters like me and Leon, representing the different species who came to Ursu to get away from the profiteers.
What? Don't you have any mothers or fathers?
You can't be free if you're someone's son or someone's father, or if you're carrying a baby inside you. All Ursulan children are born from the blooms. We're all born as half-grown children. We bring ourselves up together.
And you all accept this thing about having no rule?
We all did before the Sunless came. Leon's code is, I am able to respond to you, and you to me.
But if everyone did as they pleased, surely, well, everything would just fall apart. I mean, what's to stop someone stealing or something?
Spoken like a true profiteer. There's nothing to steal on Ursu, Emil, nothing at all. And possessing nothing, we're free.
Oh, come on, that's bollocks. What if I don't give you your necklace? Your code back? What are you going to do then?
Emil, that's just a couple of bits of metal. A bit of an old washer from a harvester, the chains from a broken sewing machine. I made it a few weeks ago. It's the words that are important, and you can hardly steal those. Like everything of value, the harder you try to grasp it for your own, the quicker it'll slip through your fingers. You wear a necklace. What does yours mean?
It's not a necklace, it's a rosary. I don't really want your chain, Scott. Here, take it back.
It's not mine, it's just bits of scrappy metal.
Take it, please.
It's not mine to take. Oh, well, I'm turning in. Bernice and Leon are out getting food. Tomorrow's going to be a long day.
Scott, what do you think you're doing?
What do you mean, going to bed?
What, here?
Where else would I?
Scott, well, in your own bed, of course. Don't you know what the word privacy means?
I think so. It means to disconnect from others, doesn't it? Ursulans sleep where we fall, together. Why would I sleep over there, alone and cold, when I could sleep next to you and keep warm?
Because, I just want to sleep on my own, in my own bed, and if that makes me a profiteer or bloody Sunless or something, then I don't care, all right?
You can do whatever you want, Emil. If you really want to sleep alone, fine, go and sleep over there. I'm comfortable where I am. And anyway...
What?
I thought you might want to have sex with me.
Scott, are you crazy? I mean, what gave you that idea?
Just something Leon said.
What did he say?
Just that you can't keep your hungry little eyes off me.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, what does Leon know? To make us right, he's got scales for brains.
Okay. I guess Leon must have got it wrong. And I guess that I must have, too. Sleep well, Emil.
Hey, are you like a doctor?
Yes, I suppose that is what I am now, for I have done little else since the Sunless came.
Cool. Could you do me a favour and come with me? It's really important.
I haven't seen you around the hospital, have I?
I am so new, I am still shrink-wrapped. Hey, you don't have a cigarette, do you?
No, I don't think so. Where are you taking me?
See a patient, special case, very serious, like life or death, you know what I'm saying?
That I do understand.
He's in here.
How long has he been like this? No temperature? Has he eaten anything unusual? Can you hear me, young man? Is this someone's idea of a joke? I've got injured people to see. Well?
There's nothing wrong with him, but I do need your help. You're Kitzinger, aren't you?
What do you want with me? Is this some kind of test? I wasn't involved in the resistance here. You must know that. I've already been questioned.
It's not a test. I just need to ask you some questions.
What questions?
About the balloons.
You're not from the new administration. Who are you? Security! Help! Security!
Please!
Will you?
Oh, no, Tamika, don't!
Ah! Take her legs, Neil. We gotta get her out of here.
Tamika!
What?
Welcome back.
I will do nothing for you while you treat me like an animal.
All you have to do is talk to me. Then I promise that you will be free to leave.
Do not think to tell me when I will be free. Who are you? You're not members of the collaborating administration.
No, we're not collaborators. We're travellers.
You're from the companies, aren't you? From the stars?
We're not company people, but we are from another world.
Of course you're company people. Look at your behaviour.
I'm an academic. I work for a university. We came here by accident searching for my ex-husband, my partner.
I've heard stories about profiteers all my life, but never thought that one would be standing in front of me. You say that you aren't a profiteer, but you call your lover your partner. Do you run every aspect of your lives with contracts and promises?
Before Jason disappeared, he entrusted this crystal figurine to me. Do you know what it is?
Where did you find that? What is it doing here?
Do you know what it is?
Yes. And I also understand the inscription. It's our death.
You didn't strike me as the superstitious type. Oh, please, I'm desperate. Tell me what you know.
The captor begging the caged.
I'm not proud of what I'm doing. I'm not going to lie to you. If there was another way, but I will do what I have to do to find Jason.
Do what I have to do. Do you profiteers always resort to speaking nonsense in order to justify your acts? That's a threat, isn't it?
Maybe.
Maybe. You're worse than Sunless. At least they aren't hypocrites. At least they're willing to accept who they are.
Please!
You're going to have to kill me, Bernice Summerfield. Nothing else is within your power.
Bernice is shouting at her now.
You shouldn't eavesdrop, it's rude.
Well, sorry. Hey, you can't tell me what to do. I can do what I like. No rules, right? No laws to break. What is the matter with that old cow anyway? Why doesn't she just get on with it?
They're not used to being bossed around. It's like unnatural to them. Scott says that...
Oh, Scott says. Well, it must be true then, mustn't it?
She probably didn't like being hit.
You little shit. I got her, didn't I? Didn't I?
Get off! Get off!
Hey, you little queer.
Nice one, Tamika.
What's going on?
Nothing.
I'm just an old woman, unarmed, alone, and very afraid. But I won't be your slave. You won't extract the information you seek out of me with threats. So you will have to take my life, Bernice Summerfield. As you can see, it's all I have.
Then go. If you tell anyone where we are, then we will very probably be killed. Please, I won't try to stop you. Just go. I'll find Jason on my own.
You won't find him on your own.
I'll look for him until I do.
Shush, just don't be so headstrong. Stop and listen. You might learn something.
But I thought that... Oh, God. You mean you put me through all this just to make a point?
I didn't put you through anything. My freedom is all I have, all that I own. You can't separate me from it. It is me. It's what makes me an Ursulan. One of the last Ursulans.
I'm sorry?
For more than 30 years, I tended to the blooms, birthing the children, feathered Ulians, Saurians, purple-skinned Jalo, all the races that make up an 8. And then Sunless came and took the blooms from us.
Blimey. Sterile population?
We were engineered that way. Parenthood is a trap to the truly free. Without the blooms, Ursu will be barren in a generation. You are one of the few that know.
How could they steal the foundation of an entire society?
They weren't stealing the blooms, they were reclaiming them. The blooms were found on the Sunless's home world by the companies.
Do you know where the Sunless want them back?
There's an inscription on your figurine.
I've not had a chance to translate it yet.
It says, "The visionary will lead us out of the darkness, giving herself up for the power beyond the sun."
Power beyond the sun? That's what Jason said.
They are an integral part of a device, a powerful weapon. That figurine is the key to that weapon. We mustn't let the Sunless get their hands upon it.
Power beyond the sun? That's bollocks!
Oh, hi, Scott. What time is it?
It's late. Is Emil asleep?
Yeah. How is it next door? They still going at it?
Dr. Kitzinger's agreed to help. Leon's in there talking to them now.
Oh, boy, did the old girl come to her senses, or did Benny have to kick her ass up and down the stairs?
Oh, I'm so tired of all this.
Oh, you want to sleep in here? I can leave you and Emil together.
Why?
Aren't you...
He's not interested. Are you?
You sure know how to make a girl feel special. Come here. Your skin is so strange, so beautiful.
They're just my scales. They're not strange. Every 8 is made up of one child from each of the races that founded the colony. For some reason, there was an extra child in my 8, a girl. All our genes spilled. I got some of Leon's saurian scales. My brother Michael's of J-Lo heritage. He's got tiny wings growing out of his back.
Wow, like a purple angel. So, why were there 9 in your 8? Who was the extra child?
No one knows why. Not even Kitzinger, and she's tended the blooms at the hospital ever since I was a child. Miranda's the only one whose genes didn't get mixed in the melting pot. Leon doesn't like to talk about her anymore. She collaborated with the Sunless soon after they arrived. I've got a picture of Miranda here somewhere. Here.
She's really... Oh, my God. I've seen her before. Miranda. In the photograph the police had of Bernice's husband. That's Jason's girlfriend.
Hello, diary. It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, today I feel more like a human being. I feel like me again. Good sign, I think. I hope. I can't excuse what I did, but I can try to understand it. Maybe the more our lives become about just surviving, the harsher we become. Until suddenly I'm standing there in a jackboot uniform holding someone's life in my hands. I'd always thought a chasm separated me from all the soldiers and the villains. That somehow I was above all that. Arrogance, I suppose. The kids are in strange moods. The usual banter between Emil and Tamika is conspicuous by its absence. The upside of which is that our communal life is a lot quieter. Tamika is being curiously polite to the boy, which is very suspect in itself. She's no longer wearing makeup, and they are both starting to look like Ursulans. More natural somehow, which seems strange because the society is artificial, so deliberately designed and manufactured. Tamika is also spending more time with Scott, who, it has to be said, seems a little uneasy with the attention. Idealistic boy meets cynical girl. Damage estimated at 10,000 shillings. Tamika remains extremely unconvinced about the possibility of a society without laws and takes every opportunity to argue with Scott about it. It was that kind of teasing that people exhibit when they really fancy someone. Made me think about Jason. Can't stop wondering if we're sleeping under the same moon. If he is on this world, then this Miranda will be the one person who could lead me to him. Of course, she would turn out to be one of the leading collaborators in the new administration. Typical, that. Anyway, there's some kind of do-on tomorrow where the collaborators meet. Leon has managed to arrange us free entry. Should be amusing, if only to see Tamika fetch and carry plates and drinks. And Emil will probably love the chance to dress up a bit. I just hope it isn't as dangerous as Leon made it sound. Scott, true to form, started a debate about the ethics of profiteers, and we ended up following a sort of Ursulan tradition by writing down a sentence that defined our moral code. Apparently it's important that we keep them close to us. They take this sort of thing very seriously. It took me a few minutes before I suddenly knew exactly what I wanted to write. When I read back what I had written, I felt tearful without knowing why. I sat on the balcony alone for a while, toying with my strange new necklace, trying to prepare myself for tomorrow. Emile followed me out a little later and lay his head on my lap. The back of his neck has caught the sun. The skin there is the colour of golden syrup. His complexion is completely unblemished. It's as if he's never been outside before. An indoor boy. Please, just let me get them home.
How did it go?
All right, they got in. Whether they get out again is another matter.
I still think we're taking unnecessary risks on their behalf. You look exhausted. Are you okay?
Bad dreams.
That dream?
Yeah, it's getting stronger, more real. Do you still get it?
Every night.
The Profiteers believe that our dreams are messages to our waking minds. So Tamika told me.
Messages? From where?
From another part of ourselves, from a part of our mind which is shadowed and hidden.
They're so full of shit.
Hey, I thought you were starting to like them.
I am. It's just so dangerous having them around. The neighbours all know they're here. It only takes one person to inform.
Are you saying that you want them to leave?
Look, Scott, the Sunless are going to find them eventually. It's just a matter of time. Eventually, someone is going to ask them for their papers. If they find that you've helped them, they'll kill you too.
So what should I do, turn them in?
We could just leave. Tonight, go back to the village.
Leon, where are your principles? Do you think that they deserve to be killed? Just because their heads have been filled with a load of crap doesn't mean that they're not people.
They're profiteers. Look at what they did at the hospital. They're not even supposed to be here. There's a rule, our only rule.
Since when did that bother you?
It doesn't. They're dangerous, that's all. They'll get us all into trouble.
More wine, sir.
Thank you.
I always swore I'd never, ever do work like this. Have you seen Miranda?
No. Have you, Bernice?
Yes, I have. She's just gone upstairs, and I'm going to talk to her. You two wait here.
Well, make sure that you do. Nothing ought to prevent us from leaving. I've got to go. Yes? Can I help you?
Can you? I'm not sure. I hope so.
I think you'll find that the kitchens are downstairs.
I'm sorry? Oh, I see. No, I followed you up here to speak with you.
Oh? I can't imagine what we might have to talk about, but go on. You have my full attention. For the moment.
I'm looking for Jason Kane. I believe you know him.
How could you possibly know Jason?
He was my husband.
I don't believe it. You're Bernice Summerfield, aren't you?
See, my reputation precedes me.
How did you get to Ursu?
With great difficulty.
I'm not surprised to hear that. This is very embarrassing.
You don't have to be embarrassed. I think he's in trouble. Do you know where he is?
No, I don't. I haven't the faintest idea. You've travelled all the way to Ursu to find him. I'd heard about the obsessive love that profiteers sometimes share, but I didn't realise it could be so all-consuming.
How did you meet him? Did he come here?
To Ursu? No. There haven't been any off-worlders here since the Galactic War. Excluding the Sunless, of course.
Didn't realise that Ursulans had travelled into space.
They haven't. At least only a very few of us have. The Sunless have been trying to reclaim various items of equipment which was stolen from their world. They needed people to negotiate with governments and private individuals. Their homeworld was plundered of its ancient artifacts and technologies by several companies before the Galactic War. Now the Sunless are powerful enough, they've come to take back what is theirs. They invaded Ursu to reclaim the blooms, but obviously they couldn't invade the entire galaxy. They've been forced to negotiate for the return of some of their legacy. As you can imagine, they aren't the most skilled diplomats.
And I suppose you were happy to sell out Ursu to them.
I happened to be in the right place at the right time, so I took up their offer. I met Jason on Denaria 7. I needed someone with experience of different cultures to help me in my work. And he was amusing to have around.
And Jason? He didn't return with you?
I woke up one morning and he'd gone. Oh, nothing sinister. He left a note and everything.
What was his reason for leaving?
I think his conscience got to him. He wasn't keen on getting involved with weapons.
Hang on, what have weapons got to do with it? I thought you said that the Sunless were trying to reclaim their heritage.
Their heritage is weapons. You don't think that the Sunless would go tearing across space to try and reclaim a few works of art, do you? Their ancestors were great militarists. The company took it all. Now the Sunless want it back.
I don't understand why you are helping the Sunless destroy your world.
You've been listening to anarchists for too long. They've got their head in the clouds. Since the Sunless arrived, at least there's enough food to go round.
Hardly surprising since the population has been halved by all accounts.
Before they came, Ursu was becoming completely unviable. I mean, it was all right while everyone lived in small communities, but as the society grew and cities developed, it was starting to fall apart. Important jobs were left undone, vital duties unattended. You can't live in a world where people just give up their jobs when they get bored. Industrialisation requires a division of labour, and a division of labour creates inequality. The old Ursu was just a romantic dream. The indulgence of a group of bored, wealthy colonists before the war. Nothing more.
Miranda, dear, aren't you coming back to the party? You did say that you weren't going to be long.
Yeah, run along, Samuel. I'll join you in a minute. Samuel's a leading figure in the new administration. Thick as pig shit, but is well connected. Listen to me, Bernice Summerfield. I've been honest with you, but if you try and cause me any trouble, I won't have any qualms about handing you and your friends over to the Sunless. I don't want to see or hear from you ever again. Is that clear?
Very. Oh, before Jason disappeared, he left something with me.
Go on.
A crystal artifact in the shape of a woman. Sound familiar?
Not at all. Goodbye, Bernice.
Miranda?
All right.
Please come down. They're about to serve dinner.
That sounds like your cue. Time to go to work, Bernice.
Hello, Scott. I heard raised voices. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine. I just had a fight with Leon. I think the profiteers scare him. He's gone out for a walk.
What about you?
I can sort of understand. I have had second thoughts about them, particularly after what Bernice did to you. They're just so very different.
And difference can be unsettling.
Yes. It's like the girl, Tamika.
Ah, you've become intimate.
I like her. We've had sex a couple of times, but something's really changed now. Not big things, just subtleties of language. She looks at me as if she expects something of me, almost like an answer to something. The boy is the same. No, he's worse. Emile can't even acknowledge what he wants, even to himself. He's caught up in this elaborate fiction about himself. It's ridiculous.
But?
Yes, you're right, there is a but. And I don't feel so good about this, but to feel so wanted, so desired, to be everything a person needs, even if they are hopelessly deluded, it's seductive, exciting, makes me feel, I don't know.
Special.
Yes.
Unique.
Yes, exactly that. It's an illusion, but the illusion is powerful, intoxicating. I'm egoizing madly, I know.
It's what you feel.
But if you set up expectations like that, how can people do anything but fail each other? They really are crazy, aren't they?
Crazy. And seductive.
My head feels like it's spinning. I'm lost in all this.
How could you not be? There's no logic to their behaviour, and so there's no map to these feelings that you're exploring. No, a map and a compass wouldn't help at all.
Are you sure we were rumbled?
Just after you came back down with Miranda, she made a call. Don't know about you, but when 30-odd Sunless appear out of nowhere, I'm a little suspicious.
And the way they pointed those guns at us made me suspect something wasn't quite right.
How the hell are we going to get out of here?
Bernice, look! Sunless armoured vehicles. What do you think?
I'm trying not to. You really think we could drive one of those things?
I've been itching to have a go ever since we got here.
Bernice, this is such a good idea.
Let me just say now that I know I'm going to regret this.
Come on, come on, come on!
This is cosy. No keys.
Keys? This is an armoured car, Bernice. We are not trying to unlock your bicycle. The ignition is protected by a voice recognition system.
Oh, right.
But I reckon I can hotwire this, although it'll take a minute, maybe two.
Oh, shit, Tamika, we've got about 30 seconds.
No prizes for who's on their way. Here we go. The This may take a little longer than I thought.
They know where we are!
Safety keeps cutting in. I've almost got it!
I think it's a little too late for that. They'll be here in a moment. Come on, there's a hatch at the back. We'll have to make a run for it.
No, lock the door, Bernice, now! I think I've got it!
Oh my god! They're on the roof!
Emil, where are you going? No, I really have got it, honest! Work, you bastard! Yes! Told you, Denny's.
I'm convinced.
Yo, Bernice, watch out for that hatch in the roof.
What hatch? Oh, that hatch.
Don't let it get in!
I'm open to suggestions. It's okay to leave it. It's dead.
But who? Oh my god, who let him near the gun turrets?
Me will do that.
Let's go!
The gates are locked.
What did you say?
Nothing. Do you know these instrument readouts have some grammatical similarities with the letters carved into Jason's artifact?
Bernice, trust me, this is not the time for a tutorial. Hang on! Neil, can you hear me? Over? Who the hell is this? Captain Courageous? Was that supposed to be an impression? Neil, I am gonna whip your ass. Strap yourself down, Benny. We're not out of this yet. Emil, can you hear me? Try and take out their wheels.
Sorry, we're blind. Controls are tricky.
That's okay, just try again.
No, Emil, get out of the turret.
What?
Look where they're aiming their weapon.
Shit! Emil, you've got to get out now.
Hang on. I'm having trouble with the sight.
No, just get out of there. Get out now. Oh. Did I pass?
Did Emil get out of the turret?
Emil, you okay? Emil? Shit! Emil, can you hear me?
I told him to get out of the turret. I told him. God, it's a mess back here.
Emil!
I threw up over myself.
Next time I tell you to do something, do it, all right?
What happened to the Sunless cart? Did I hit it?
It's in little pieces.
Yes!
Come on, let's get out of here.
I knew I could knock it off the road if I waited just a second longer. Because it's not that different to Deadly Zorgors 2. And I've got the top score on that out of everyone in my class.
Scott! Leon, we're home. Dr. Kitzinger? Bernice?
Emil, stay by the door.
What is it? What's wrong?
There were red stains on the floor and the walls. Blood. There'd been some sort of fight. Our friends were gone. The Sunless did this.
Scott, he isn't here.
He could be alive, couldn't he?
Kitzinger and Leon were also missing. There was no sign of them. Any of them. I didn't know what to say or do. I just watched as Tamika picked through her scattered possessions, salvaging the remains of her makeup and clothes. Emil just stood in the corner with his arms wrapped tightly around himself. I just wanted to take them away. Magic them home. And then the Sunless arrived.
Ah, Benny. Welcome to my humble little scout ship. I may call you Benny, mayn't I? Jason always did.
Hello again, Miranda.
Going somewhere, are we? Oh, good. I do like a mystery tour. Where's Kitzinger and the others?
They're safe. Scott wouldn't tell the Sunless where the visionary was. Said he didn't know. But you know, don't you, Bernice?
You did all of this for that goddamn lump of rock?
Please don't change the subject, young lady.
Just tell me about Jason. What have you done with him?
Give me the visionary.
Where's Jason?
Bernice, just give me the visionary.
If you mean the figurine, you're out of luck. It's back on Ursu.
Oh, come on. Do we really have to go through this? We both know it's in your rucksack.
I'm telling you, it's back in Leon's apartment in the city.
No, it is in your rucksack.
And what exactly makes you think that?
Leon saw you put it there yesterday.
Ah, bugger. And what if I don't want to give it to you?
Then one of the Sunless will come and take it from you.
Do that and I'll smash it.
I'm not sure that you could actually damage the visionary.
Well, let's see, shall we? I'm willing to have a bash.
Leon, put her young friends in the airlock. Decompress, and then let them out into space.
What? Stop it now, or I promise you... I'll destroy the artifact.
Emil, you don't think...
Oh, my God!
Oh, this is gonna screw my hair.
I'll destroy it. Let them out.
Make me.
Okay, you win. For God's sake, just let them out of there.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, don't play games with me, Miranda. Please get them out of there.
Shan't.
Who did that?
I reactivated the field in the hold.
I know what you've done. Why?
They're just children. You've got what you wanted. There's no need for all this cruelty.
Damn you, Leon!
Guards, put him in a cell with Bernice and the others.
You bastard, Leon! You absolute bastard!
Enough! That is enough!
Let me go!
Calm down!
Dead, you hear me? Dead!
Leave it, Tamika.
Bernice, what are you trying to protect him for? He led the bastards right to us! Betrayed Scott, his own brother. So much for being one of their precious eight.
I know, but he saved your life.
What?
Well, who do you think saved you back in the hold? Why do you think that he's in here with us?
I don't care. He's got to pay for what he's done. I just don't understand how he could do that to us.
I know. Well, why did you give us up to them?
Just leave me alone. What do you know about any of it anyway?
Try me.
You dare sit there and judge me? You blame me for all that's happened?
You think this is somehow my fault?
Well, who was it who created the situation? Who was it who dragged my brother into this mess?
He offered to help. You're the one who sold him out.
Of course he wanted to help. You don't know him at all. He's lived in a village all his life. Hardly ever seen the Sunless before you came. Spent his whole life talking politics. Then you dropped out of the sky and suddenly he'd got his noble mission, a cause. He got his chance to prove that he's the great Ursulan he always boasted he was. And what do? We're in the middle of an invasion here, and you stroll around the city like tourists? You may as well have worn a pink neon sign saying, "Profiteer, arrest me." And you think your individualism is heroic. But your heroics over your search for your friend Jason just condemned Kitzinger to death.
Bernice didn't sell Kitzinger out, you did!
She was dead the second you took her out of the hospital. You've seen the Sunless, but you don't understand them at all. People have been murdered for far less than leaving their posts. People have been killed for thinking about resisting the Sunless. Kitzinger can never go back to the hospital. She has nowhere to go. She is already dead.
Then what were you doing by informing on us? Just making sure?
14 people have informed on you within 12 hours of you arriving in the city.
What? Who?
People in my building, people who've seen you on the street. You stand out, you're loud, you attract attention to yourselves. You egoize, and that's dangerous. No one wanted you around them. No one even wanted you near them. They knew that you'd bring the Sunless down upon them.
What are you saying? That you didn't inform on us? That you're not a collaborator?
Oh, I am a collaborator, and I did inform on you. Only I asked Miranda to use her influence to get Scott out of there first, to take him home.
Why would she do that?
Because, despite what has happened to her, what is happening to her, Scott is still her brother, our brother.
But why side with them?
You don't know what they're like. You weren't there when they came. They would just set up a camp in the middle of a square or at a crossroads. Just sackfuls of uniforms and a whole pile of batons, anywhere where locals might congregate. Then they'd herd the people together under the watchful eye of their armoured cars and tell the crowd to make a choice, to cooperate or not. It was made clear that those who wouldn't cooperate would be killed. I was caught with about 100 others. We were left to decide. Slowly, people began to drift apart, not looking at each other. You could smell the fear and recrimination in the air. And then those who had chosen to collaborate were given clubs and told to kill everyone in the other camp.
Oh my God. What did you do?
I chose to live. So I took up a club, weighed it in my hand, and then I killed 7 people.
Oh my God. Where is the ship going? Where's Miranda taking us?
Don't you know?
He wouldn't ask if he knew, dick for brains.
We're going to the Sunless's world. We're going to their home.
The Sunless led us through the corridors of the ship and into the airlock. Their movements were coordinated, walking in step, but with none of the jerkiness or rigidity I still associate with androids. What kind of people could they be? They handed us respirators, which did not bode well for the conditions outside. The outer hatch opened, and I gasped as the cold hit us. And then I knew why the Ursulines called them the Sunless. Above the barren landscape hung a bloated, pale pink sun that just about ate up the whole sky. Its outer layers were already beginning to peel away to form a gritty cloud of planetary nebula. Despite its size, it gave out little heat. It was dying, puffing itself up before it collapsed forever, like a patient with a terminal condition taking one last deep breath before the end. They led us out of the ship, onto their world, and towards a huge crystal structure which appeared to have grown out of the landscape. A melanoma growing on the barren surface of their world. And then they took us to our newest cell, a dark pit cut roughly into the floor of the crystal structure.
Well, Professor, you want to speculate on the purpose of this construction?
At least they want us alive. We'd be dead if they didn't. Who's there?
It's only me. There's a cup and a bowl here. They're empty. Cutlery, too. Someone's been down here before us.
A prison? We're in a prison, like solitary confinement or something.
Anyone got a light?
Yeah, hang on. Bernice, we're not alone.
Please. Please, don't.
Jason. Jason, it's me. It's Bernice.
Stay away. Please, I've told you what I know.
It's all right, Jason. It's me. It's Bernice. Come here. It's all right. You're safe. It's all right.
Might I suggest we try and climb out of here?
Oh, and just how do you propose we do that?
Well, I suppose you could stand on my shoulders.
I'd rather stand on your head.
Okay. I'll give it a go. Keep steady or I'll fall.
I'm doing my best. This would have been easier if you'd taken your boots off.
Oh, it's no good. Can't reach. The edge of the pit is about 2 feet out of reach.
We could try it with 3.
I always wanted to join the circus.
Me too.
Oh, come on then, Emil. Get on my shoulders.
Here goes. Got it. Hang on. There's a rope up here.
Thanks. Must have been used to pass food down to prisoners. We'll go one at a time.
Hey, Tamika, you're last. Time to go, or you're going to stay down there all day?
We found Kitzinger and Scott nearby. Scott had been badly beaten. Red wheals and bruises ran down his chest. He didn't say much. He couldn't. He kept drifting in and out of consciousness, crying out. Tamika busied herself around him, trying to keep him quiet, making a fuss, while trying simultaneously to remain utterly casual. Suddenly, I was extremely glad that I was never going to be a teenager again.
Burning up. The sun. No!
Shh. It's okay, Scott. You're okay.
Miranda has that dream.
Everyone in our age does.
Actually, Jason, right now, I don't need to know about Miranda's sleep patterns, all right?
I'm sorry, I'd forgotten how jealous you can be.
Oh, and I'd forgotten what kind of git you really are. Jason Kane, you are a git. The king of all gits. Git.
You came all this way to abuse me?
No, actually, I came all this way to rescue you. Although now I'm here, suddenly I'm not at all sure why I bothered.
I'm sorry, but you should...
If you're about to tell me that I didn't ask you whether you wanted to be rescued, then I shall thump you, so don't, all right?
I was going to say that you shouldn't have put yourself in danger for me. I'm grateful, though, Benny, really I am. I didn't believe you'd come, not after how I treated you.
Oh, I didn't come all this way for your gratitude. Oh, I don't know why I came.
Well, thank you for coming anyway. Thank you for saving me.
Don't take that for granted. We're not out of this yet.
Where's your ship?
You've put your finger on the one small hole in my otherwise watertight plan.
No ship?
No ship.
Bloody hell, how did you get here?
We got a lift with your girlfriend.
Oh.
Yes, oh.
You've met Miranda.
Oh, we're great friends.
Then you know she had me kidnapped on a Pollux.
To get that figurine, which she thinks is the key to a weapon. I'm way ahead of you.
How do you know that?
You said you married me because I'm clever.
I did. You are.
Not clever enough. Your girlfriend set me up. Had me chase you halfway across the galaxy just to bring that crystal figurine to her.
You didn't, though, did you?
Walked straight into it, I'm afraid.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Benny, we have to get that back.
We are not going anywhere near that woman. We need to steal her ship and get away from here, and that's all.
I'm not leaving without that thing.
I can't believe you're thinking about yourself at a time like this.
Myself? What do you mean?
I presume you're planning to sell it.
What are you thinking of, Benny? Have you been paying attention to anything that's been going on? If Miranda uses the Visionary to activate that weapon, nothing will be able to stop her, nothing in the galaxy.
Oh, behave, Jason. Don't tell me you've swallowed this fake ancient powers nonsense.
Miranda has been scouring the sector for that figurine. She's completely obsessed with it.
Well, everyone needs a hobby. Listen, Jason, this is what I do, remember? There is no fortune or no glory in digging up the past beyond the occasional press conference and book launch. You're worse than freshers who think they're going to dig up a lost spaceship or a burial chamber filled with gold. Take it from me, ancient artifacts do not possess mystical powers. Centuries-dead civilizations do not leave superweapons lying dormant for others to stumble across. And X never, ever bloody well marks the spot. Trust me on this one, Jason. I know what I'm talking about.
And have you thought about the consequences if you're wrong?
Yes, Bernice, have you? What would happen if a completely ruthless race like the Sunless gained the power to travel across the galaxy or to destroy a planet from space?
Come on, Bernice, you know what would happen because you've seen it happen before. You and I have seen stuff that no one else gets to see. We've been witness to Armageddon. Can you take the chance that it's not going to happen here?
I can't. What Jason says is true, Bernice. If my sister thinks the power is here, then she is right.
We've seen it in our dreams all our lives. A blinding, searing heat that consumes everything. It exists. I know it does. I felt it. If Miranda's been stupid enough to search it out, then I'm going to try and stop her giving it to the Sunless. I have to.
Calm down, Scott. You have to rest.
Benny, I'm staying. But if you want to take Miranda's ship and go, that's fine.
Oh, thank you. Your permission is so important to me. Oh, crikey, I had only suspected it previously, but Bernice Summerfield, you are certifiably insane.
I thought you could do with some company, in case you run into trouble.
I can take care of myself, thank you. There's at least one Sunless wandering about around here, so keep your voice down. That's not the reason you came, is it?
No.
Scott, is it?
He's made it clear that he doesn't want me around him. And anyway, Tamika keeps threatening to kill me.
Can't say that I blame her.
Sometimes I wish I were like the Sunless.
What do you mean?
You don't understand their language, do you?
You do?
Miranda speaks their language fluently. I've learnt a little. To be without feeling is to be without fear. In the darkness, only the fearless survive. In the cold, only the fearless survive. And there's more, but you understand the meaning.
Yeah, I do. And I thought they were learning grammar by rote. I wonder what happened to make them like this. Sometimes colonies get cut off.
But does there have to be a single reason? And anyway, this was never a colony, not like Ursu. This has never been part of human space. I don't think this is a good place to stand and talk. We shouldn't stay here.
What are you doing?
Oh, shit. Get ready to run.
I said, what are you doing in this part of the temple? Answer me. Oh.
Jesus, Tamika, you're getting too good at that.
Come on, let's get it hidden.
In here.
I had wondered whether they were cybernetically altered somehow. You know, part human, part machine. But beneath her respirator mask, she's just your basic humanoid who has adapted to her environment.
Does it make a difference?
I don't know. I think maybe it makes a difference to me. I would just feel better if they had computers for brains or a biomechanoid exoskeleton or something.
And something that would make them separate from us.
From Bernice and me, anyway.
But I'm afraid to say that the truth is you don't need a bionic rebuild to put on a uniform or abandon your feelings. Still, we can use her uniform.
Oh, God, I suppose I'm the only one of us this'll fit. We can use this knife thing of theirs to cut my hair off, too. Oh, I, totally hate this.
It'll take more than just a uniform and a shaven head to pass you off as a Sunless. Look at her face. You can see the effect the cold has had on her skin.
Aha! But I haven't told you about my secret weapon yet, have I?
Secret weapon?
Tamika, we need to use your foundation.
Okay, time for me to make a masterpiece of my face. Hey, Scott, give us a kiss. For luck.
What?
Yeah, I know. Luck is a profiteer's concept. But just do it, all right?
Why?
Oh, forget it. I'm really pissing you off, aren't I?
This isn't the time, Tamika.
There may not be another time.
Tamika, what you want of me makes me feel uncomfortable. Since we had sex, I feel as if I'm standing in a room full of people when I'm alone with you.
Right, it's fine. It was just sex, I understand.
It was good sex. I mean, it was kind of strange, but I enjoyed it.
Thank you, I think.
Emil said
Never
you
mind
were in
what
love
Emil
with
said.
me.
He doesn't know jack shit. Oh, yeah? And when exactly did he say that?
Back on Ursu, when I asked him why you were behaving so differently.
He said that I was in love with you?
No, he just said that you'd fallen in love.
So why do you think it was you? Of all the arrogant, conceited
Well, because he gave me
bastards.
3 guesses.
Just wait till I get my hands on him.
Tamika, are you and Scott going to stand around chatting all day? Or are you going to get that makeup on and then come and risk your life for an insane and improbable cause? On second thoughts, don't answer that. Leon, if we do manage to snatch the Visionary, we'll have to get out of here fast.
Don't worry, I'll have transport waiting. Miranda's ship shouldn't prove a problem. Oh, and Emil wants to go with me.
Okay, finished. Now I look like one of the Walking Dead. Oh, Leon, take care of Emil, or I'll take care of you.
All right. I'll see you all later.
Yeah.
Well, go on, Leon, if you're going.
Good luck, Bernice.
Okay, troops, keep in step, and Tamika, try and think like a psychotic alien git. Although some of us find that easier than others already. Hey, Jace?
Thanks.
It's ironic. The people who had settled on my world called the blooms a gift, putting their discovery down to serendipitous good fortune, to the existence of magic in the universe. The original Ursu group, a consortium of people from different worlds and different species, had seen in the blooms a chance to make a world untouched by the cold heart of profit and oppression. They had been scientists, therapists, healers, politicians, warriors. Their backgrounds had been diverse, but they had been united in their desire to create a society where a person might be truly free. They had been influenced by philosophy, science, and art. The name they had chosen for themselves and for their world had reflected their utopian ideas, their love of literature, and their humor. A kiss to a dreamer from the past. They had been so sure that they had left the evils of the universe behind them. So sure of the purity not only of their ideals, but of their actions. How conceited. How smug. How arrogant. We tucked ourselves away on a forgotten world and pretended that we were untouched by the taint of wealth and selfishness. And all the time, the foundation of our society had been the pillaging of another's culture, another's heritage. Yours, the Sunless. Perhaps we deserve you. You, take the Visionary. Place it in the device. Not that way. The blooms are over there.
See ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
You! Come back here, you little... Well, stop her, someone! Tamika, over here!
Tamika, behind you, watch out!
Bernice, catch! Get off me!
Leave her alone!
Tamika!
Get the Visionary out of here.
Come on, Bernice, don't let it all go to waste! Shit! Scott didn't make it either. They're all still in the chamber. We have to go back. Don't be stupid, Bernice. We've got what we came for. We have to get this away from the Sunless permanently.
Bernice? Dr. Kitzinger? I know you can hear me. Bring me the Visionary, or Jason dies. You've got 2 minutes.
Get away. She'll kill us any...
That is a classic Kane maneuver. Selfless self-sacrifice is the oldest trick in the book. He is so manipulative. He just knows I'm far less likely to abandon him if he tells me to. Oh, he's such a git.
Are you sure this man just doesn't mean what he says?
Trust me, that man never means what he says.
Why not?
What?
Why doesn't he just say what he means?
I'm really not sure. I think he just never got into the habit. Or else lost it soon after we married.
Married?
Yes, you know, weddings and all that. Oh, no, of course you don't. Tell me, do you have funerals on Ursu?
Yes.
Well, weddings are like funerals, only you get to smell your own flowers.
I think the rarefied atmosphere up here is getting to you.
I'm fine, really.
You're breathing very rapidly, talking nonsense, and your face is flushed.
Is it? Am I? Oh, dear.
What?
Oh, that isn't oxygen starvation, although it has similar symptoms, and one of its effects is to close down the higher functioning of the brain. I should have recognised it myself, really. After all, I've been suffering from it for a few years now.
What are you talking about?
Love. I'm in love with him, and I can't let him die. I just can't. I'll have to give Miranda the figurine.
You can't do that. We mustn't let them have the device. The consequences for my world would be catastrophic. Miranda will kill Jason, whatever you do.
I know, but I can't not try. I just can't.
Well, I can. And you must learn to. Think, Bernice. Think for a minute. This is so irrational.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Benny, I thought I told you not to...
Oh, shut up.
I think we should dispense with ceremony this time. This is where the visionary belongs. At the feet of the blooms. And now the visionary will lead us out of the darkness of this dying world and give me power beyond the sun.
You appear to have created an aperture in the ground. A hole. How impressive.
It is here. I can almost taste it. Come here, Bernice. How do I release the power?
Release Jason and the others and we'll talk.
Attend to the device! Why doesn't it function?
Isn't it a bit late for all of that? Anyway, why should I? I presume you're going to kill us all anyway.
Tell me.
All right. But you won't like it. Dr. Kitzinger, what do you make of these symbols around the edge of this nice new hole?
They're the same as the ones carved on the figurine. It means the visionary will lead us out of the night.
And these around here?
If I remember my researches, that's the line that says the visionary will give itself up to release the power beyond the sun.
You used a computer, right, to do the original translations?
Yes, I did. How did you know?
You too, Miranda?
Yes.
Software must employ similar interpretative strategies. It hasn't got to grips with the syntax at all. It got the words partially right, but the ordering of words is all wrong. I mean, anyone can see it doesn't make sense. After all, small crystal stone figurines are not renowned for their autonomy.
Of course. How could a statue have a vision?
One thing is clear. The figurine is not the visionary. It's a representation.
Representation?
That's right. The figurine isn't the visionary, only the representation of it.
Then what is the visionary?
It's obvious, really, isn't it? You are.
You know nothing about this.
I kept wondering why the super-villainess routine was so unconvincing. And now I know. It's because you were subconsciously covering up the fact that you really don't have any choice in any of this. You were thinking that you had chosen to search out the blooms, to come here. Fact is, you've just been following some kind of biological imperative, just following orders.
I'm an Ursuline.
No, you're not. You never were.
The blooms were programmed to make you years before the Ursu group had ever even begun to dream of their world without rules.
That makes sense. If the companies hadn't stolen the blooms from here, the Ursu group wouldn't have been able to use them to set up the colony. The blooms wouldn't have been programmed to breed the 8s in the first place.
That's why there were 9 children born in our 8.
Miranda should have been born here, where she was intended to have been born.
The visionary, ready to activate the device, to lead the Sunless out of the darkness.
That's a lie. I am an Ursuline. You of all people know that I am, Kitzinger. You were there when I was born.
An Ursuline would face the truth, Miranda.
Then my family are all visionaries, and the dream is the vision.
That is not true.
We programmed the blooms to make our children, but they had already been programmed to produce the visionary a long time before. They were already in use when the program was activated, so Scott's family became a melting pot. Genes were mixed. The vision blurred when it was shared. It spilled over into all their minds.
So, here we all are. The device is primed. But the irony is, Miranda is going to have to sacrifice herself in order to activate it.
I am not a cog in a machine.
Well, prove it, Miranda. Choose not to activate the device.
I've a better idea. Sunless, place Scott into the device. He shares the vision. He can wake the power.
No! I won't let you!
Tamika, don't!
Get off! You little... Help me! Don't let me fall! You, girl, take my hand! Please!
Tamika, get away from the edge.
No, you don't!
Oh, get off of me!
If I fall, I'll take you with me. I promise you.
Okay, I'll do anything. Just don't pull me down. I don't want to die.
Then pull me up.
I can't get any leverage. If you don't let go of my leg, we'll both fall. Put your hand on the sledge, and I'll pull you up. I will, I promise.
Okay, got it. Now get me out of here.
Miranda?
What?
Mind your fingers.
Tamika, no! That'll activate the...
Oh, God. Here it comes. We've lost.
No! But we have to get out of here now.
We ran out into a different world. A new yellow sun blazed in the sky above us, shining down on the landscape. A thread of light burnt between the highest point of the crystal structure and the new sun. The Bloom's legacy. Not a weapon, but the power to renew their world. Grey figures stood in the plain, staring up at their new sun. Sunless. I saw one turn to its neighbour, and for a moment it looked almost uncertain.
First stop, Ursu. Then you can continue on to Della, all right?
Yeah, fine. Right, I need hair extensions, a bath, a posh frock, and a large shot of whiskey. Although not necessarily in that order.
You knew, didn't you?
Well, I did what archaeologists do best. I made an informed guess.
There's just one thing I don't understand. How did you know what the device was?
Well, I had the advantage of not believing in any of that tosh about weapons in the first place. I have said this before, and I do feel that it is worth reiterating, if only for the benefit of those who are about to embark on archaeology degrees, like you, Emile. Ancient and powerful civilizations do not leave dangerous weapons lying around on the off chance that their descendants should ever find themselves in a tight squeeze and need them. The whole idea is silly nonsense. But once I realised that I had been wrong to think that there wasn't anything there at all, I went back to first principles and tried to work out what kind of device an ancient civilization might leave for its descendants. When I looked at the inscription again, I realised the mistake the computer had made. It wasn't power beyond the sun, which is quite an awkward description anyway. It was to power the sun beyond its natural life. The computer couldn't get to grips with the syntax of the language and missed a couple of words, that's all.
You got all that from a single sentence?
Oh, yes.
What's going to happen to them? The Sunless, I mean.
I'm not sure. We need to send a report to the authorities about Ursu's plight, but I doubt it will prove too difficult to drive the Sunless away, particularly now that their own world has been given a reprieve.
You'll still have to rejoin the rest of the galaxy. Ursu will never be the same.
Without the Blooms to make the 8, Scott? No, I suppose it won't. By the way, Leon, where's Tamika?
Feeling a bit sick, she said. Perhaps it was me.
Oh, hi, Benny.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to intrude.
Hey, it's okay. Don't go.
Oh, what's the matter?
I just discovered that I'm pregnant.
What? Who? Not Emile, surely.
Oh, give me a break. Scott.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I didn't think I needed to. You were the one who told me they use machines to make babies.
Yeah, I was, wasn't I? Ursulines can't have children with each other. Perhaps only the women are infertile. Perhaps after the Blooms were taken, life found a way. Who knows? How'd you feel about it?
I don't know. A bit shocked, really.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you still want to come back to Della?
Well, I'm not about to set up home with Scott, am I?
No.
Well, falling in love is yet another of those profiteering concepts Scott claims not to understand.
But shagging indiscriminately is no doubt a well-respected Ursuline tradition.
You guessed it.
They really do think and feel very differently to us.
What, men?
Well, I was thinking about Ursulines, actually. Growing up in their 8 provides a template for their adult relationships, which are also non-possessive and group-orientated. They don't have that early experience of focusing completely on another individual. Fascinating, really.
I don't need another tutorial, Benny.
No, of course you don't.
What is it?
I just hate the idea of the price of complete freedom being not falling in love, that's all. Feels a bit mean somehow. Does Emil understand about this?
What? That Scott's a promiscuous shitbag? I don't know. I guess he'll just have to find out for himself.
Ouch.
Hi, I just wanted to thank you for all your help.
You're welcome.
And I also wanted to ask if you wanted to come back to Ursu with me.
With you? Why?
Because I think Ursu needs people like you to help us to try and remember what our lives are all about.
Oh, right. I can't. I've got to get home. I left without saying goodbye and I need to see my dad.
I understand.
Back at Leon's apartment, you asked me if I wanted to have sex with you.
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking, well, that meant that you wanted to, didn't it?
Wanted what?
To have, to have sex with me.
Emil, I wasn't trying to keep it a secret.
Well, I wanted to too. I just couldn't say it then.
I know.
You do? You did? Well, I just wanted to tell you personally, that's all.
Ah. Well, I'm glad you did, Emil.
Oh.
Come here.
Scott?
What?
Don't. I want you too much.
I'm not a piece of property, Emil. You can't have me. I'm an Ursuline. Free.
I know. That's why I'm going home tomorrow. Back to Dad. Back to normality.
Are you going to live your whole life for tomorrow?
Scott, you don't give up, do you?
Never.
After all that, I tucked myself away in Miranda's cabin and shamelessly rifled through her belongings. I was lying on her bunk, staring at the ceiling, when Jason came in.
So, what are you going to do now?
Go back to work. I'm way behind schedule on my new book. I spent the advance ages ago. I don't pick up my office phone half the time for fear it's my publisher. Plus 1,000,001 other things that are no doubt pressing for my professorial attention.
You really like it there, don't you?
Dower?
The university.
Yes, I do. It's become my home. I like having somewhere to miss when I'm away.
I was wondering whether...
What?
Well, whether you might want to have dinner with me or a drink or something.
Jason, asking me if we can start seeing each other again, I mean, it's like asking me if after having had one car crash I want another.
I guess I deserved that.
He looked a bit wounded by that. He got up and started fiddling with something in my satchel. It was the necklace Scott had given me on Ursu. I explained to Jason about the Ursuline tradition of articulating their personal beliefs, writing down their code of ethics. He asked to read it, and I shrugged, barely remembering what I had written. This is what it said. Bernie Summerfield is a human being, and as such she is all too capable of being cruel and cowardly. And yet, while she is often caught up in violent events, she endeavours to remain a woman of peace.